Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Got Max and Tom here. Yes, Tom is new. Welcome him. Just saying. All right. So, last week, David, Max, and myself did our player ratings, end of season player ratings, to try to figure out who our starting 11 was. All right. And to be honest with you, there were some surprises, and I think that taught us that we have some holes in the squad based on those surprises. So I went back and did all the math on on all these player ratings, and I got to be honest with you, way too much time, way more time than I was planning on spending on this. I even analyzed the squads of the top 6 teams to figure out how many keepers they keep on their squad, how many center backs, all that stuff, just to kind of get an idea of what we actually need. All right, and one of the things I noticed before I get into this is a lot of it depends on your manager's approach, your head coach. Who's in charge? Because if you look at Liverpool, you don't look at how many strikers they have. They have forwards. You know what I mean? It's not really strikers per se. But I think I think we have strikers though, and so that just changes things. So I went through our prioritization list based on the lowest grades, and also based on depth, because that's the thing. Just because something grades pretty low, we could actually be pretty deep at that position. Yeah. Okay. For instance. You'll just see as we go. All right. So right now, as our number 1 priority, I have left back as our number 1 priority this season. All right. And one of the big things, I think we had talked about Baines being able to start, but not every game, and us having no real backup depth. The main backup depth that we have is Anthony Robinson, and we're not completely sure if he can handle Premier League yet. You know, we have no idea. And now the story comes out today that Baines may be headed to LA to either play with LAFC or LA Galaxy. And this could be a rumor that's just come out because he's on vacation in LA. I've seen people mention that on Twitter. It could be, or it could be real. You know, he's getting older. Who knows? So either way, we definitely need a starting left back, and we might need a little more depth there as well. So we may see Bronze bring in 2 left backs to compete for that starting position. I mean, we guys agree that that's probably our biggest need?
I think to say it's our biggest need is possibly quite harsh on Baines, considering how good Baines has been since he's come back in. But I think it's a case of when you take Baines out of that team, you see how much of a hole that leaves, and that is worrying. Obviously, but he's in his 30s now.
Just to be clear, Max, I wanted to say, only reason I say biggest need is Baines can't play every match this season because he's older. That's no disrespect to Baines, one of my favorite players ever. So just to throw that out there.
I agree completely, and I know you wouldn't say that about Baines, but I think striker's another one. Obviously, we got Tosin in, but I felt we didn't replace Lukaku, and look at the hole that kind of left in the side in terms of shots on goal and goals scored. Obviously, Tosin coming in now is good for us, but we're still having to play Umar to run his socks off to give us something different, and maybe that might be an area where we need to improve on. There's a few areas I think
there's a lot
of equal measure that needs a lot of attention, and as I say, I think the whole squad in general needs a complete shake-up.
I think the wingers is a big priority as well that needs to be sorted. I think Balassi wasn't the best since coming back, and obviously I know that may take time with him, some take longer than others, but when we were bringing him off when he wasn't playing well enough, we were bringing people on like Calvert-Lewin, who's obviously not a winger, and we got rid of all our wingers last season as well. Like since Allardyce said we need a bit of a clear out, we kind of got rid of all our wings. We sold Aaron Lennon, sent Lookman out on loan, and obviously Onyekuru was out on loan with Anderlecht as well. And we were short of wingers in the end, even though they were there in the squad overall. But I think possibly need to bring a couple of them back and keep hold of them, if not sign some others, because I do think that was a shortage at the end of the season.
Yeah, genuinely feel like wingers, if we don't start Lookman opposite Walcott, which I feel like that should be a real possibility, we need somebody to possibly compete with Lookman for that other wing position, and we just don't have much depth at wing, period. We just don't. Now, I think a lot of this is going to depend, like I mentioned earlier, what our manager / head coach, whatever, does. What formation does he favor? Silva liked to run a kind of a different type of formation. He would have more of a traditional-looking striker, like a Troy Deeney in the center, which would be a Cenk Tosun or a Nias. And then you had Richarlison on the left, all right, which to me actually makes me think he may, because Richarlison, I didn't really see Richarlison as the kind of player that was running back to do a whole lot of, tracking back to play a lot of defense. It was almost like it was more of a forward position, which is interesting, which means maybe honestly, that's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I was going to suggest that DCL possibly go out on loan after this injury just to kind of get himself more clinical, get used to, and get stronger. I just thought that would be a good idea and bring in a different striker to come in. So whether or not that happens, we'll see. But winger, it's going to depend on how they approach it. Is this? I
think I was going to say I think Theo Walcott will benefit massively if that is the case, and if the kind of role that he's given is that kind of forward role where obviously we know I think it's kind of within Theo's character to put a defensive shift in because he does work hard for the team, but it's been a hot topic throughout Theo Walcott's career. What position is he best in, and where does he fit in? Obviously he's been playing alongside down the right, and he's always said he wanted to go at striker. And you know yourself, Gerry, quite a while ago, I suggested I'd love to see us try and take this kind of rotating three approach. You think you can only look and marvel at the way Liverpool have kind of done it this year with Firmino, Salah, and Mane. So, as I say, they've kind of set the benchmark, and I think it's quite often the case in the Premier League. The clubs will try and copy that and replicate it, and I think that it's something that we should go for.
So we've touched a little bit on striker. We've touched on winger, which I actually, for some reason, I don't see those as being as big a needs as center back. I'm seeing a lot of depth, but not a lot of quality. I think right now we have no idea if we had to start two players. We can't start Jags every game. We just can't. He's older now. If we try to do that, he will be running the ground, and he will. And I think we've all decided we're pretty much certain Williams is going. I think we're pretty.
Hope
so.
Something like that. It doesn't look like he's going to be getting much game time, though, does it?
No. So I think I feel like we need one more player, a starter, and I really hope it's Lascelles. Because he just looks so strong. He looks so strong, man.
He is brilliant, isn't he?
But him to start opposite either Holgate, Funes Mori, it could be Keane, could be Jags. Just the idea of having depth like that would be nice. I don't know if Keane. I feel like we talked about Keane needs a partner and to stick with that partner, and it needs to be the same formation the whole time, and it's the only way he's going to be stable.
Yeah, it's an issue of versatility, isn't it? With Keane, he can't really adapt to different systems, and as we've said here, I think it might just be kind of first season jitters where he's been given a lot of responsibility too soon and expected to perform at such a higher level, and has had more demanded of him than what he had when he was at Burnley. But I think if you were to ask me where I feel Everton's biggest needs are, I think it's the central positions in general. I think centre back and central midfield, because how many times this season have we looked massively overrun in the centre of that midfield, particularly when Morgan Schneiderlin took a dip in form. I think we were greatly exposed there. So central midfield's also another position where I feel like we need strength in depth.
Yeah, want to get to that in a minute, but that's a big one. You're right. Tom, if you had to pick Holgate, Funes Mori, Keane, or Jags to be a starter to partner up with a new center back, could be Lascelles, whoever, somebody who's just great. Who would you pick out of those four?
One of them to go with a new player. Yeah. I think our best centre back last season was Jagielka, but obviously next year he's another year older, so you can't rely on him as much anymore. Holgate showed promise at times with Williams, which was weird because Williams wasn't the best. Yeah. But I think Michael Keane, towards the end of the season, he kind of looked more assured next to Jagielka, and he'd be the one for me. I think we need to give him a chance because he was shaky. He was as bad as the others at times, but they were all pretty awful. And I think in a team like that, it was difficult for him, but I think he should be given a chance again next season.
I don't think it'll happen, but I would say Holgate and rotate with Jags, just because I just think Holgate is awesome.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He just looks so composed for a young guy. He's just unflappable.
I did a lot, because obviously when I was going through the player grades, I'm thinking about it, what is it that makes Holgate so great? And he's such a classy player to watch. As you say, he's kind of got this maturity that oozes out of him, isn't he, really? For such a young player, it's great to see how composed he is when he's on the ball. And I've said a long time, I feel like he should be the first centre-back on the team sheet.
Probably not the best decision in the derby to shove Firmino into the stands, you know what I mean? But whatever. I'm wondering in a few years if he is still doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to touch that subject right now, though, because that gets really complicated really quickly. But yeah, we all agree we need at least one center back, yes?
Yeah.
And I think we need to get rid of one, if not more, center backs. I think you could see Pennington going, despite the new contract. I think you could see Browning going. You could see Williams going. Now, possibly Funes Mori, depending on how well he gets along with whoever the new manager is.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's one that we haven't gotten into yet, that everybody seems to be completely ignoring. Okay? Robles is leaving. He has to. Steck, I'm still wondering if he's really a backup keeper quality right now. You know what I mean? Like, is he a Premier League quality keeper? Yeah, still, because he's getting older. We may need a backup keeper. Very possible. I mean, there are teams in the top 6 that have 4 keepers on their first team. No kidding. That's a thing. I think one has 2, but it's one of those things. I think if Steck leaves, we absolutely have to purchase someone that's comfortable with being a backup. You know?
I think what you said there about obviously the amount of keepers the top 6 clubs have, but it's not just that. It's the top 6 clubs. The substitute keeper is always someone that can keep the starting keeper on the toes.
Yes.
And that's something that I don't think we saw at Everton for a long, long time, with the exception of the kind of Howard-Joel debate that went on when Howard was being played when he clearly needed a rest.
Mm-hmm.
As you say, obviously, I think everyone's so pleased with Pickford. The kind of the depth of your goalkeeping options is often overlooked, but yeah, I agree, definitely.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think same as what Max was saying, really. I think if you look at some of those top sides, their substitute keeper will get in most of the Premier League sides, really. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we haven't had for a while, and we probably do need. And if it means investing some more money, then it'll be worth it, because as amazing as Pickford is, obviously he's human, and I think there needs to be someone just behind him, helping him along, and Stecklenberg's at his day, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I feel like no one is mentioning. Everybody's talking about our needs, and I think we need one more keeper. Somebody, and the crazy thing is, we're not in a position where we're like one of those. We can't provide European football right now, so we can't really do that. So we have to find someone who's willing to not be a starter, someone who's willing to sit on the bench. So either a veteran or somebody really young with promise.
Yeah.
That's and that's going to be tough. That's not the easiest. I mean, we were recently linked with a keeper in La Liga, and I think that guy's going to want to be a starter wherever he goes. I just don't see that one happening. So yeah, I think that's going to be. It's not going to be an easy one. Center mid. All right. When you look at our starting 11 that we came up with last week, the one that really pops out at you is Kieran Dowell. Somehow, Kieran Dowell gets into our top 11, and that is weird. Okay? I don't see how that really happens this coming year. I don't think it will happen, frankly. I think we need a number 8 type player. Someone who's kind of more of a box-to-box, someone who can to bring the ball forward and distribute. All right? And we don't really... I think it's close to what Tom Davies is. Close. But I feel like it needs to be someone more physical. And someone who's going to give the ball away less, because he's still really naive about possession still.
Yeah, and there's a lot of discussion about Baningimi as well, isn't there? Obviously, he's recently signed a 4-year contract, and some people are thinking, he's more than capable of stepping in. However, I think we need to bring someone in who's obviously going to, hit the ground running and almost kind of produce as soon as he pulls on the blue shirt, almost. So I do feel like it is an area that needs investment, and it seems to be a recurring theme when you talk about any position, really. But the quality of the player who comes in needs to be someone that can kind of challenge the level of the top 6. There's a certain lad at Sampdoria. He's only a young lad. He's Uruguayan. I think his name's Lucas Torreira. I was having a little look at him and seen a few games of his this season in Italy, and he looked like a fantastic prospect who seemed to be one of these young players that produce. He gets his goals and he gets his assists, and not many young players do that, really. I mean, you hear all kinds of stories and whispers of wonder kids, but when you look at the statistics and the contribution to the team, they don't really amount for much. So I think if we are going to take the route of going down and bringing a young player in, that they need to be someone that can impact the team straight away.
There is a player we just recently got linked with along with Spurs called Basuma at Lille.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
I watched some of his stuff. I did like one of those, it's like every time he touched the ball in one of his matches this past season, he looks exactly like what we would need. He is a physical guy. He's not the tallest guy. He's like 5'11", but he's physical. And he's from Mali. Good passer. He can pick a pass from range. He pushes the ball forward. He looks exactly what we need. But I don't know. That could have been somebody Steve Walsh was interested in and not Bronze. So that may be something that's never going to happen. But that was as soon when you were describing that type of player, I was like, that's exactly it was somebody who will get back there and pull a little bit of Idrissa Gueye and actually be strong in the back and dispossess and then push forward and find some through balls. He's just a good passer and he's in control. I like him a lot. That video was so long because he was on the ball so much in that game, and he scored. He cracked one from range. It looked good. Yeah. I wish we'd go for him, but it does appear that we're not the only ones who are interested, if we're still interested. So, Tom, what are you thinking about? Where were we just then? We were talking about center mids.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how we are in for a centre mid, and we do need one, because last year, if you looked at wasn't the transfer window last year, we were signing a lot of people around that area. Maybe a few of them may be number 10s, but around the central midfield area. And around that time as well, there was a lot of promising central midfielders coming through the under-23 side, and a lot of them were being pushed out to different positions because there were so many central midfielders. So it's funny that we're kind of in for another centre mid now, because we did have so many ideas last year, but now we seem to have to need a new one, which is interesting. But I think someone combative who can take you forward as well as dispossess, as you were saying. I think someone like that is needed, because we can't keep giving the youngsters a chance. Obviously, the youngsters are coming forward very well. I think Baningime and Davis have been very promising, but for a club that wants to be at the top level, we need a bit of immediacy, really, a bit of something that can come straight into the squad and take us forward.
Hey Max, what if I propose we sell Schneiderlin and bring in this player that we're talking about? What do you think of that?
I've got to. I think I've got to just accept it now, haven't I? Really?
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. That's
honestly,
different.
I've got to accept it. I mean, I know the William Carvalho rumours just ahead again, and I'm a big admirer of him, and I'd love to see him play for Everton. But of course, if that means selling me man crush, then I'll be sad to see him go. But he's added to the picture.
I'm curious as to if those rumors are legit. I have no idea. You know, rumors. Right now, 1 out of every 10 might be true. So yeah, we have a dire need of a center mid. We talked about strikers a little bit and how we feel like we need to bring someone in. It's not. I will say, if we bring in some wingers, okay, we're not in the worst position with strikers. It's not the worst because we do have 3 strikers that have scored goals this season, and they are very different players. Okay, so it's not the worst thing, but as far as it would. Oh gosh, how great it would be if Sandro decided, hey, I want to stop being a jerk, and I'll actually want to work hard. He would be different. He would be something different for those strikers, you know. But I don't see that happening. So yeah. Lastly, there are. I mentioned the possibility of a center, a number 10, another number 10 coming, and center attacking mid. Somebody, basically Ziyech type of player. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Someone with the magic, you know, someone who can actually, you know, who has that vision, combines well in space, highly skilled. I feel like we need a player like that. Yassine Brahimi. You know, somebody like that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. He would be, whoever it would be someone who Sigurdsson is not. You know, Sigurdsson is skilled and has a good eye for a pass, but he's not particularly good from 5 yards away. You know what I mean? That first, he's not super quick. I feel, you know, and I feel like we could do that if Klaassen leaves, which it would not surprise me if he leaves. Not at all. You know, I don't know if he jives with Silva's system, if it's Silva. So yeah,
we shall see.
Yeah. Lastly, right back. Coleman, Kenny. Beyond that, we've got Colin Connolly. Who else?
Cuco Martina.
Yeah, Cuco Martina, who might be the one of the 2 that stay. You know what I mean? So, yeah, our depth is not bad at right back. It's not the worst. You know, I personally would be kind of up for Martina moving on and Kenny being our backup, but that's no. I don't want to disrespect Cuco because he did work really hard, but just not all that much moving forward. Just not a lot. So, and do not play him on the left.
No.
Ever. So yeah. So I mean, we have a lot of positions of need, guys. It would not surprise me for us to buy a left back, a center back, a keeper, a wing, a center mid, and a striker. I mean, that's bringing in 6. That's not even thinking about bringing in a number 10 of any sort. All right, that would be 7 if we did that, which is absurd. But it wouldn't surprise me. You know, if it's the purge. This is the Everton purge.
It is.
You know?
Gonna have to see how deep Mercedes' pockets are now.
Yeah, and how many people get moved on? You know, we could see, we could see a Schneiderlin, we could see a Klaassen, we could see Sandro, Williams, Besic.
I was going to say, also we got Mo Besic in there as well. I feel like he should be given a fair crack at the whip at centre midfield, particularly after the impact he's had in this Borough side.
I'd be curious to see how he would do. I always see him as playing a similar role as a Ghana, though. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's a better passer than Ghana in terms of long range. Kind of spraying the ball out wide. Why do I think that? I don't know.
Besic is a really strange player, and I think he kind of deserves a video of his own, really, because I think he's kind of got this skill set that sometimes he can express, but sometimes he kind of gets overrun and caught up, and obviously that's where the last-ditch tackles and the frustration comes in. And he can't always, ping these brilliant 30-yard balls like he did when he first pulled on the shirt against Porto. But I could see him coming back in.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him sold because I think he's a proper Everton player. Like you don't see too many of them coming in. Like some of the new signings aren't like for Everton players, but he's been there a couple of seasons and he's definitely wants to like fully throw himself in there and fully commit to a club. And I'd hate to see him sold and fully commit to Middlesbrough because he could do that for Everton. It's just difficult to see what role really, because you don't want another defensive midfielder when Gay's obviously so good there, and I don't think he's a centre back where he was played a couple of times last season as well.
So yeah, I look at the position he plays, that kind of center mid, more on the defensive side. Beningame, Gay, Schneiderlin, new signing. So I think if we sell Schneiderlin, it could be a situation where we're keeping Besic. You know, but do we need 4? A lot of clubs have 3, but some have 4. You know what I mean? That position. So I guess we'll see. I love him. I think he's awesome. But if he's preventing Beningame from coming through, I prefer Beningame as a player. I just do. I think he's maybe a little more limited in his passing than Besic, but he's got better speed. So
yeah, fair shout.
Guys, so squad analysis, conclusions, a lot. We need a lot, everybody. Yeah. We're struggling. If you look at the quality of our depth, it's not great. Overall, our depth is not great at all. Yeah. Good luck, Bronze.
Aye. Should be solved. It should be solved over the summer.
Or at least moved in the right direction.
In part, I feel like we're going in the right direction anyway. But in part, I think we should start seeing the right moves come to fruition almost.
Be curious as to which of the signings from last summer gets sold this summer. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
All right, so I guess that is it for our squad analysis. Please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We're hovering between 700 800 subs, slowly crawling upward. Thank you. We'd like to keep doing this, and the more subs we get, the more we can do this. Just saying. Please check out Tom's work. You'll see his videos on with the Liverpool Echo. He's with the EFC Jury, so check his stuff out. Also, Max has analysis on the Toffee Blues website. There'll be an article very similar to what we just did, except it's going to be all Max's thoughts. Okay? So it's going to be all about Schneiderlin. Just saying. All right. Also, please check out the Toffee Blues website in general. A lot of analysis. There's good stuff there. Check out the Toffee Blues on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm done with the plugging. Oh my gosh, it's exhausting. All right. For Tom, for Max, for Gerry, thanks so much. Appreciate it, guys. Good to talk.
As always.
All right. Bye.